Hello and welcome to my unboxing and first look at the Adeptus Mechanicus Sulphurhounds. I've already done this unboxing with the Serberys Raiders. They are one and the same. You can build either one of those two units from this box set, but the way YouTube works is even if I put a tag down below that encompasses the Sulphurhounds, there's still a low possibility that people will stumble upon the Raider review, whereby if I have the Sulphurhounds in the title, it improves the chances that you find the video. Now this box set will cost you £35 and I think it's pretty decent. I've already done an unboxing of the Raiders, as I said, and you get a fair few options. You pretty much get 10 different versions of the similar models. You get 2 for one, 2 for the other, and then 1 for the final one. So that's 5 per Raider or Sulphurhounds. So it's quite decent in that regard. And there's more differences in this set, the dual kit, compared to the Taraxi. Even though the Taraxi have 3 sprues, they have more sprues. This only has 2. Anyway, if we look at the back, this is why you're here, the Sulphurhounds. They look amazing. I really like the flamers that are coming out of their muzzles. I like the scenic bases with the skulls. I'm not sure you get the skulls with them. So Games Workshop a bit naughty there, putting them on because I can't see any skulls there. Well, maybe there's a skull probably there, but yeah, they're different on those bases. So they've pulled a fast one a little bit. But if you don't want to build them as these awesome looking Sulphurhounds with the phosphor blast carbine and this guy with the power maul, you can build them as the Raiders with the Archeo revolvers and the galvanic carbines instead. I mean, whichever ones you go for, whether you go for sort of robot horses or you go for robot hounds, you know, they're going to look bloody awesome anyway, aren't they? Let's face it. So let's unbox these. Yeah, £35 I thought initially. That's quite expensive, you know, £17.50 per sprue. But when you really look into it, they've spent a lot of time and detail with the design of these 2 sprues to get so much out of them. And I wish that they do this more often. They spend more and more time in the design phase of these sprues to give you as many options as they can, because when I initially looked at this, I kind of had an inkling that would be the case. And just based on that inkling, I bought 2 boxes. Whereas look at the Taraxi, I didn't buy 2 boxes of those. So that tells you something. And both of the sets is the same price. They're both £35. But just on that inkling, I bought 2. Whereas, yeah, didn't for the others. Anyway, this is the instruction guide. You've got the Serberys Raiders and the Sulphurhounds. I think this guide is actually quite laid out. It doesn't try and confuse you at all. You've got the Raider A, which is just 1 Raider. That's what you get. Done. Then you've got this Raider with the data tether, but you can also make this one. So that's 2 for the price of 1, either the data tether or this dude here. I'm not sure which I'm going to go for. I kind of like that one though. And then you've got the Alpha, which you've got 2 really good poses here. One with the saber and one kind of aiming as the horse is running. Anyway, moving on to the Sulphurhounds, which is why you're here. Again, it starts off with the Sulphurhound A, and you only get 1 pose, but it is a really cool pose with these akimbo pistols, these phosphor pistols. Similar story with Sulphurhound B. You can make this one with the carbine or this one with the akimbo. Both of those look really cool. I like both of those poses. And then finally with Sulphurhound C, you've either got the Alpha or you've got another akimbo style. So if I had my way, I'd probably get a 3rd box and have them as more Sulphurhounds. I'm a bit bummed out that I've decided to go for Raiders and Sulphurhounds, but you know, obviously I want to give you a look at what the Raiders look like and the Sulphurhounds. based on this, I'll definitely pick up another box set of Sulphurhounds at some point and eke out this, find this little dude's amazing pose, and the same for this one here. So have two akimbo phosphor pistol Sulphurhounds rather than just the carbine, the alpha, and this akimbo. Although we are getting that cool one. So I'd have two new looking ones, and but unfortunately this one again. However, what's really cool about the rules is that you are allowed up to 3 more Sulphurhounds, or up to 6. So you can have a whopping 9 in each one of these units. So I'd probably build one of the other raiders, which I think I'd probably... unfortunately, the way they've done it is they've been a bit sneaky in that if you bought another set and you built the other 2 that you weren't able to build before, which is this one and the alpha, you'd be left with this one here, which unfortunately is the only model in the other set which doesn't have a secondary pose. So if you did choose that option, you're either going to have another single pose Vanguard or another single pose Raider. So whichever way you fold it, if you bought another set and you built the other 2 that you couldn't build before, you are going to have that one that still looks the same as either one of the Sulphurhounds or one of your Raiders. And that theory works in the mirror image as well. You're going to be left with this guy, which if you choose to build the other Sulphurhound, it's going to be the same as your other set of Sulphurhounds. So yeah, buying 2 sets is great, but buying 3 sets, you're going to then start to have some duplicates there. It's unavoidable, unfortunately. But still, a great movement forward in terms of these designs and the customization options. I just wish that the initial model in the set, you could also have 2 options, even if it's just a slight change in the weapon arm or whatever. That would be pretty cool. Unfortunately though, you only get the rules for the Serberys Raiders, which I do bang on about, but I think it's unacceptable. I think if you're charging 35, or even the case of the Archaeopter, £60 for a kit, and you only include 1 data sheet, why bother? That's half of the kit there. Yeah, I understand that. And from what I understand from Games Workshop, at least, most hobbyists of this hobby are collectors, painters, rather than players. But that being said, it would still be great to have that option of including the other set of rules, instead of having to get this, instead of indirectly trying to push you to buy the Engine War book. And I don't think they've unconsciously done that. I think they have done all this for a reason. I think it is to push you to buy that Engine War book, because why leave out both of the data sheets in the Archaeopter? Why leave out the one in this, and why leave out the one in the Taurasi? Why leave out any kind of data sheet or rules in the Manipulus, which again is £22.50. It's to push you to get the Engine War book. But luckily for you, in my review, I'll be showing you those data sheets, don't you worry. So that's my little take on the instruction guide. You get quite a descriptive painting guide there, and a look at the transfer sheet that you get, which is the new one for this new release. You've got Taurasi and you've got Serberys Raiders there. Here are the sprues themselves. Lovely sprues, jam-packed. A big fan of these. Yes, they're £17.50 each, but you've got a load of options there. Like I said, you've got 10 different options for different models here. You've got a number of heads. Fair amount of heads there. Just from looking at that, I can see 10 heads, 12 heads just on that sprue. You've got the saber, you've got the Archeo revolver, you've got the phosphor carbines, you've got more swords that are sheathed, you've got the Sulphurhounds or Raiders themselves, you've got the power maul, you've got the rifles. Looks really cool. Really like I really like all the pieces on both of these sprues. They're fantastic. They're going to have mold lines, of course. They're Mechanicus. If you bought a box of Scutari, you know what you're in for. Probably one of the worst mould lines of any range, worse than Sisters, I think. Anyway, looking at the rest of the pieces, you've got pouches, you've got gun holsters, you've got the data tether thing, more rifles, more bodies of horses, more bodies of the hounds. Any more heads on this one? Don't think so. No, you mainly get all of your heads on the other sprue. You get legs and more sheath weapons, more rifles, power plants, all kinds of things. So yeah, very jam-packed sprues these. Yes, it's an expensive kit, but if you bought 2 sets, you're going to be very happy with the options that you're provided with, unlike the Taurasi box set, unfortunately. But anyway, that is my unboxing and first look at the Serberys Sulphurhounds. As I said before, I usually do like to create 2 unboxing videos if the kit has the option to build 2 different units. So I hope that's helped. What do you guys think? Please do put it in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Omnissiah protects.